Good morning. It's 4:25. Today is February 20th. I want to say Happy New Year to all the Tibetan practitioners. Basically, only because this is something that has to be a quick observance. I am Ramos Clark Guest, and I am the founder of Bummer, Know the Walk to Talk the Talk. And as a result of all of this, I just wanted to make it known that this broadcast provided by the good people at YouTube and also the good people at Instagram. That's Ramos G logo for up and coming events and more development with placing my product in the market. Bummer is a wonderful product. I'm telling you that now. So, to recap on what this broadcast is about, it is titled The Rock in the Hard Place. The description is up to you. I just titled the description what it is, but I'm going to describe a rock in a hard place or the rock in a hard place. I came to this realization when it comes to cleaning our backyards. I thought that the rock in the hard place would be a befitting and proper title. So, the rock in the hard place is something. Let me just tell the story a little bit so you can understand the founder of Bummer. Okay. For just a particular reason, so we could get an overall understanding. Uh, at one time, just to pull a page out the book of The Rock in a Hard Place. Um, there was a particular time in my life in which where I thought that it was going to be a very much a wall and me between me looking back or me facing what was what you see today, but turning my back on it. So in terms of turning my back on it, I'm speaking about like people know, and even the element itself can understand what it is to have your back against the wall. So, for most of us that are comfortable with being raised in this side of the land, or let's say on this side of the fence, okay, and the gates are not totally open to everybody. As you will see in like maybe an hour or so on Instagram, I'll do a live and it will be called The Rock in the Hard Place, and how I describe what it is about. That's for people that want to buy into the mission statement, know the walk, to talk the talk. Here on YouTube Studio, let's just say the rock in the hard place was, let's just illustrate, everybody knows what it's like to be homeless, correct? Okay. When I was homeless, I was working in the entertainment field. Okay. Now, on one hand, everything parallel to that is something that we all would want to be part of our development as an individual. Okay. And well, at the time, I thought, you know, the rock in the hard place, which is, it's the same thing, but let's just say that that rock in the hard place is just a bigger rock now that I somehow, being the founder of Bummer, have chiseled a space that is very unorganized And even on the front, it looks like it is a veil of success, victory. Well, let me just say that it hasn't turned out to be that way. What I found out back then, and realizing that same wall, that rock, in the place that I am at now, is pretty much a stalemate. Now, when you get to this, let's just say that when I do explain it a little bit more colorful, a little bit more colorfully, a little bit more vibrant, because the climate will be a little bit more different in the sense because it'll be Instagram instead of YouTube. But before that child was born, there was a whole lot of, you know, throwing things against the wall. Now, I at times, I'm gonna tell you, in any shape or form, in let's just say 32 years. Now, you can say in 6 minutes and 36 seconds, there's no way possible I could tell you about being in a hard place and being a rock. But at the same time, that the rock in the hard place is something that I came to realize. Even right now, as a professional, I realize when you are a person, let's just say, that chooses to be in a husbandry. Now, I look at it like that because I say to you like this: if I am to align myself with the same solid idea that kept me from being the person I am now, which is the founder of Bummer, and I will tell you on different lines of communication, for one, lessons.com. Okay. Now, I'm not bridging myself as a wall to anyone, any place, or anything. Okay. You see, when you don't have a prominent figure, you know, a let's just say master of ceremony, um, headmaster, um, maestro. Let's say that. To be the maestro is a classical approach. So if you're gonna be that person to tell me, well, then what has all of this classical stuff done for you? Well, let's just say when you put yourself in a position to say, well, if that's the case, don't ask me the question. Just look at the remnants of the song. Look at the remnants of the collide between the two worlds. Now, for some of you that understands what that means, that could be touching bases on a few things with some people. And if you know, then you in the know. So this is why Bummer is know to walk, to talk, to talk. So if you're in the know to walk away or walk towards. Many times I've chosen to walk away. But guess what? When Ramos has decided to walk away, he became Champa. Now, to you, that doesn't mean much. It doesn't really, atone to anything. It doesn't really connect to a lot of things that you probably would be in touch with. But some of you probably can be. I know I am. So let me not bore you. So, like, getting to what I'm saying, I come to realize if you're going to be like myself, and then I realize this world that I'm walking up into is just a stage of me developing into a ground level approach in which where I don't think I've actually gotten anywhere yet. You understand? Only because I gotta lay down to get down. But I'm down now. So what is it that we have at this point? The rock and a hard place. My thing is, how do you move with that semen? I'm sorry, that semen on a level in which where it is the surface of an ocean of love that turns into a lake based on how you and I want to look at that wall. And only until then that wall is actually, you have put it down, where that wall becomes now something that is a bridge now. This is the thing that I'm talking about. And like most times, we don't even, or I don't even have the opportunity to say, this has nothing to do with any fancy language. I'm not playing no, no type of fictitious ideas with you. Okay. The deal is, how and why wouldn't we be united, right? United for the purpose of being in a place where you and I can actually say that this is going to work, and doing the right thing. Now, that's another question, because now we got to ask ourselves, what is the right thing? You're going to say, well, what is the right thing then? Well, I'm not telling you what the right thing is. I'm telling you the rock and a hard place. This is what I'm trying to share with the thing that came up in my mind today. This is not going to say that something special is going to happen. This is not what I'm saying to you. Have you come up to that rock and a hard place? Because in a few, this is just a beginning, because on Instagram, I'm going to actually go a little bit further about that. Okay. You're welcome to leave something in the chats, but most times that doesn't happen. Okay. So, you know, you might be, how can I say, new to getting your I guess your accolades or something brought to your attention. But if you're going to bring somebody to your attention, don't get them lost on the canvas of what you're looking at. Because until you can produce something that actually is more than just being an artist, because art imitates life. Life, from what I see, doesn't imitate life. I'll say that. Art doesn't imitate life. Because in order for art to imitate life, it has to be a bummer. I'm not saying that for a shameless plug. Just take a look at, why is it that you don't have the certain type of spark, or the same type of glisten, or the same type of, as they say, shine? Because it's not that these folks are, or these places, or these things aren't a rock. It is. It is a place. Why not? It's here. So if I'm wrong, then tell me in the chat, what is the right? Okay, 15 minutes into this, I'm just explaining something to you because that is my experience. Now, getting back to this homeless thing, are you really? I'm saying, like for me, like I choose to speak on that because that is the place. Somebody liked my video on Instagram. I'm sorry. See, that's the thing, folks. Look, I love every soul that is 7.5 billion humans and beings. So we can divide that into two. That is 3.8 million per sector on this continental world, something like that. See, I'm not a mathematician, but what it is, I'm adding up all the rocks that at one point afforded even the richest black man and athlete on this earth to now, like, you know, the chains could be as you see this collar on this robe, right? It's like that. You know what I mean? And I really applaud that. I really do. Because you know why? It goes to show you with a little rock in a little place like this, a little place, a little place that a boy and girl could come out their room and present something that should be purchased. Because you know why? That rock in a hard place was Bummer. Because I mentioned being homeless. And that's something that is chosen because, see, being homeless is the place to be. Because you know why? The city and the state that we're in kind of like warrants that type of behavior. Solely because if you are going to be a leader, why would I follow the back of my head, the rock in a hard place? Because at every turn, at every, even though I can't see it, but just people, places, and things, I have to realize, are you really for me or against me? Or am I for myself or against myself? Am I a friend to myself or are a enemy to myself? Or what is it with the people, places, and things are an enemy to me or a friend to me? I guess these are the kind of questions that would be good to ask because nobody is chatting. Telling you, it's nothing like a bargain tangerine orange fusion non-alcoholic beverage at this time of 4:36 a.m. So if somebody ever asks you, no questions, because at this time, like I find it funny when I'm on the train and I go back to this story about seeing this young lady at one time when I was on the train. She literally had a blanket that was like this, a white one. She had no pants. And I'm saying, what's going on in New York City? As you notice, when you look on my live, this is what you see. You don't see any special effects. You don't see no special editorials. You don't see um, no lives with anybody or anything. I mean, I've done, but that's because that is where I come from and what I'm about. That life. But now, as a whatever you see on the wall, as that person that continues to champion that idea, that concept, first and foremost, build the theory. Some folks are like saying, well, then, well, let me just say this. If you own or purchase something that is branded by the name Bummer, know that it is the first thing that has been created by a forensic peer specialist. Tell me a little bit about that school of thought before you can tell me anything about what's your mission statement or what is your brand. So let's go past that and away from that. That wall in which I speak about was something that I kind of realized actually wasn't even there. It was a fixture or a placement I put on everything that I was looking at, and I'm continually looking at, and I do it all the time. You know, I'm telling you from like me as a human being, or me as a person that'll tell you, listen, it has nothing to do about insecurity. Actually, it's for all security-minded individuals. So if you haven't worked in the capacity of that or had, excuse me, connection with, because some people live through other people all the time. And Ramos Gaston is living through no one. Okay? Who else do you see? Okay? So this is the only time that you can see this good. And I'm gonna say that's why I would tell you go to Instagram and see my Instagram page live. And then you'll see the difference. They won't allow this because see, right now this is a broader scale and it's a wider and it attracts, it brings in more light. Now on my phone, not so much. Okay. So I won't be your favorite personality solely because they would say, oh, this is for people in blog. Well, I'm one individual and there's 7 billion people on this earth. So why is it that it's not being reviewed? That's not a question. That's just like a buffoonery for me. It's like what they call a brain fart. Excuse my, yeah. A brain fart. What is happening here? Okay. Getting back to that wall of what I'm saying is that rock is like something that, you know, for most people, you can turn that into like whatever you want. You know, for all of these you know, folks that want to get into properties and do things of this nature, okay, fine. That's what you are, fine. I get it. But here's the idea. If you want to be actually, you want to call this, you know, the long arm of the law or the short end of the stick, that's up to you. Okay, but I am the person that'll say that I'm kind of like tired of that short end of the stick. All right, and maybe you might have time on your hands, but I don't. What do you see here? Nothing at all. Okay, so why would you do that? Why would I do that? Okay, I'm not stressing anything to anyone. What I'm trying to make it known is that the wall that was like this. Now, for I don't have to be in London to tell you the bridge has been brought down. Okay, I'm saying to you, the Rock and a Hard Place is a bridge that I think is important to know and to share with you that it can be brought down. But as I said before, you got to lay down and get down. And that's a different way of approaching or looking at what I'm trying to share or what I'm trying to say. Okay, so I want it to be so concretely known to you. If you want to make this a million plus, then you gotta be perfectly associated with just mere or more than a culture, more than just a lifestyle. I think what I'm getting at, if you want to profess that this is a way of living for you, then that's a way of living for you. But this is a way of living for us. Those of us that are not like in the the era of those of us that are not part of the mecca of you don't have to be a part of that big umbrella because that's only 14% on this earth. What is that? 400 million? Okay, you have that in your account or your estimated asset allocated account or your acquisitional talented booked accounted invoice. Whatever language you want to speak. Confuse me some more if you want. If you don't understand that, then take it to this point. Then as a subcontractor, that I'm just telling you, I haven't signed any contract because I'm a subcontractor. So in the lines of me being a subcontractor, you owe me. Okay. So if you don't understand business to that aspect, then it's my business to inform you. I'm in the business of being human. That's what the founder of Obama Know the Walk to Talk is the writing on the wall. And the wall has been brought down because the bridge has to come down because where you live and I live, I know there's a bridge. Some know there's a bridge that don't care for the protection of the bridge. So they don't like the bridge. Some don't like crossing a bridge because they have a fear of heights. See, I don't have a fear of heights. I overcame that because of practicing of falling all the time on my face in relationships, in finance, in social dynamics, to sports. I have fallen, which means failed at. Like I said, it doesn't matter what's on the wall. It's can the wall you have be brought down? That's what I'm saying. Can it be brought down? Because most of you are doing this. Most of you are doing this. Now, in the span of, it could be a second, it could be a year, it could be a month, it could be 10, it could be 2 decades, it could be three, it could be a lifetime. See, what I'm trying to say is that wall that I have come up to has been a lifetime of things going down before my very eyes and in front of my face. And in some cases, to my very ears. So I'm just trying to share here. Okay, where's the restitution? Where's the unity? Where's the talk? Where's the stage and where's the real walk? I'm not saying nobody here is not getting up this morning. That's not what I'm saying. It's Monday morning. Happy New Year. On Instagram, I'm going to say it again. Happy New Year. Why wouldn't it be a new year for
is a remote
me?
caregiving service used with Echo devices that helps you care for your loved ones even when you're apart. The service includes 24/7 hands-free urgent response. Start your
Can
free
someone say
trial
something
today
now? I'm
at
looking for a chat. I'm looking for
Amazon.com/Alexa
a word. I'm looking for a sentence. I'm looking
Alexa
for
Together
a
is a remote
paragraph.
caregiving service used with Echo devices that helps you care for
Because
your loved
all
ones
across the
even when you're
world,
apart.
someone would say,
The
oh, my
service
two
includes
cents.
24/7 hands-free urgent response, fall detection response, and allows multiple family members to receive notifications to stay
My
informed
two
of your loved
cents.
one's well-being. Stay close to your loved ones
If you can
wherever you
take
are.
2 million,
Start your free
2 cents,
trial
2
today.
million pennies
Say,
and do
Alexa,
this.
send more info. That's Alexa, send more info.
How much is 2 million pennies worth? How many is 2 million pennies on a wall worth? And then after you have those 2 million pennies on the wall, put that wall down. Take that wall down. Take your 2 million pennies, because that's basically what is happening. Because on the flip side, meaning the other side of the wall, the other side of the wall, the other side of the wall, thin or thick wall. Do you want to go through the wall, or do you want to just stand? The whole idea is the rock in the hard place is the homeless state that I have found myself in. Meaning, how many of us are, or how many places do we have to go to, or how many of us have to actually act as if like the vessel of ways that we go about things, or things go about us, is an idea and a fixture in my mind, and it's only 10 minutes to, excuse me, 10 minutes to, excuse me, 10 minutes to 5 a.m. I'm just buying time because I'm just about to go ham on Instagram. Okay, only because there isn't a an idea for what kind of non subscribers we have. What kind of non subscribers do we have now? Because that's what we're gonna call it, right? We don't want to say. I don't want to say followers. I don't want to say anything to that idea at all, because nobody's a follower really. Because how? Here's a question. What's the price on being a follower? If you can go outside right now, don't go to work. Don't go to your lover's house. Don't go to your mother's house. Don't go to your grandfather's house. or whoever's house. Take your house and go to the next house. And when you get to the next house, throw your 200 million pennies at the wall. With that being said, people, take it easy. With love and kindness, protect your lifestyle. And get Bummer.